Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Olina by HBB and TRIPOWIN. So yeah, this is the box it comes with. Nice clean packaging. This is the case it comes with. Here are the ear tips. I think these are some sort of filters. So yeah, I really do like this case. It reminds me of the U12T that I have. So this case is really good. It's easy to use. All you do is pop it open and grab your IEM. So I do prefer this type of case, and more companies should make cases like this. So yeah, good case. So yeah, let's start off with the cable fit and build. So the cable is really nice. I don't think this ever got tangled one bit, no matter what I did to it. As you guys could see, it keeps its composure really well. It doesn't get out of control. So yeah, very good cable, soft and light. See, a lot of IEM, they have heavy cables. So when you have a heavy cable, it weighs you down and it could get uncomfortable. And there's no memory wire here, so that's an absolute win automatically, because you're not going to have any type of comfort issues. So yeah, that's the cable. No issues with the cable. It works really well. So yeah, now let's talk about the fit. So the fit is exceptional on these. I wore these for like an hour or two, and I didn't get any type of fatigue. Where a lot of IEMs, regardless of price range, they could get fatiguing after like 1 or 2 hours or sometime, but this has no like pressure buildup somehow. So I didn't feel like there was that much pressure in my ear when I tried these. So yeah, fit I would say is definitely above average. Like, the fit is really good because the IEM is light and it just has the right amount of weight. So paired with all of those things, the fit is excellent. No complaints. Now let's talk about the build quality. So the build quality, I'm not sure if this is aluminum or what, but it feels really high quality and it looks really glossy. So yeah, that's the build quality. I do like this design. Blue is my favorite color, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, that's really nice. And now let's talk about the bass, mids, and highs. So we'll start off with the bass. So the bass is phenomenal on these. I was listening to tracks that should not even have like a note of bass. And other IEMs, you do get that little bit of extra bass, but this was extremely composed. Like, the bass did not get in the way of the music at all. So if you do play a song that has a lot of bass, the sub bass will kick at you in a good way. But then when you play a song that should not have much bass, you're not going to hear the bass. So the bass is exceptionally well done. It is sub bass focused, so there's not mid bass. And I do prefer that type of sound. The bass is separated from the mid range very nicely. The bass goes low, like extremely low, but it's not too much or you feel like it's clouding other details. So yeah, somehow the bass doesn't cloud the details. Even if you're listening to a song that has a lot of bass, this performs very well in that regard. So it's composed, comes out when it needs to, and when it doesn't, it's gone. So phenomenal in that regard. So yeah, it's separated exceptionally well. No issues with the bass. It's really good. And this actually is one of the best dynamic drivers I've ever heard. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out. So yeah, now let's talk about the mids. The mids are exceptionally natural. Like, this is one of the most natural IEMs I've ever heard. There's no sense of grain. There's no sense of harshness. The lower mids are present with the right amount of clarity. The upper mids are present also. So it sounds very, very natural with any voices, and it just performs. So if you have a singer that has like a higher pitched voice, that has like an airy sound, this will present it in that same manner. It's not going to color it or anything. So yeah, somehow the mid-range on these is really, really good. It kind of molds to your music. So if you're listening to a track that was poorly recorded in the mid-range, it's not going to sound perfect. And then when you switch up to a couple more songs that are recorded exceptionally, this will tell you how well it was recorded. So in a sense, it's very resolving in the mid-range. So yeah, that's the mid-range. Instrument separation is really, really good. And I've never heard a dynamic driver sound like this. And I haven't tried that many, but from my experience, this one has like a special tonality in the mid-range, where everything's calm and relaxed, but it's not overly smooth. And I think that's really, really hard to do in an IEM, because if you have an IEM that's overly smooth, it could sound dark or lacking detail, but I never got the feeling that these lacked any type of detail. So yeah, the mid-range, exceptional, no issues. If I had to be nitpicky, I could say I wish the upper mid-range was slightly more present, but then that could cause other issues. So I actually do prefer the tuning on this. So they did choose a good route for that. So yeah, really, really good. Now let's talk about the highs. So for a dynamic driver to be producing this type of highs, it's actually mind-blowing. So when I was listening to a song that had really airy treble, this IEM just performed exceptionally well. So when you're listening, so on a cheaper pair, when you do have that extreme air, sometimes it kind of sounds not balanced enough, but this didn't sound like it was restricted. So the treble comes across to the fullest extent. You don't miss any air frequencies. With a lot of IEMs that cause double or triple this, some of them have bad air frequencies for some reason. So it just has the right amount of articulation, very airy sound. The treble is definitely really airy, not harsh, not sibilant. I don't know how anyone could call this harsh or sibilant. So yeah, the highs come across exceptionally well. For a dynamic driver, I think it's amazing. So I am going to point out, I think the quality of the driver they're using in here is definitely very, very good. Like, I hear that. So the quality of the driver in here is exceptional. And yeah, I haven't really quite heard anything this good for the price. I am getting a few other IEMs in, but I'm not sure they're going to be as good as these. So yeah, now let's talk about the soundstage and imaging. This is where this IEM shocked me the most, because the bass is present, the mid-range is present, the upper mid-range is there, but at the same time, you get a good sense of soundstage and imaging, which is one of the hardest things to do for an IEM in this price range, or even double or triple it. So you definitely get sounds coming. So first, let me just start off with the soundstage. So soundstage is pretty wide. So some IEMs are like this, some IEMs are like this, but this is like pretty far out. Like on tracks that are mastered like that, this will give you that resolvability in the tracks. So it really does depend on your music. Yeah, soundstage I would say is definitely, in my notes I put, it's well above average. And I never say well above average. I just say it's average or above average. But this is definitely well above average. You definitely get the sense of space. So yeah, that's the soundstage. Now let's talk about the imaging. Again, well above average. It separates the sound exceptionally well. Like for a dynamic driver, it's amazing. So on tracks I was listening to that were very well recorded. You get sounds coming like diagonally like this, and this portrayed it perfectly. Other IEMs kind of make it sound like it's coming from up top like this, and then you definitely hear sounds going from like top right, bottom, down left if you have tracks recorded like that. And I do test out tracks that do that, where sounds bounce up over here, then go here to here. And a lot of cheaper IEMs, or even IEMs that cost double or triple the price of these, they don't do that. So until you spend a lot more money, you're not going to get IEMs that do these things. So yeah, this is an exceptional IEM. I just want to keep listening to it because I never heard anything like this. It sounds extremely natural, clean and clear. The bass is separated from the mid-range. The highs come across exceptionally. Very airy sound. Soundstage well above average. Imaging well above average. So yeah, I think this is an absolutely amazing IEM, and I would recommend it. It's 100% a major go. It doesn't do that many things wrong, honestly. Like, for the price, it punches well above its price range. So yeah, I am getting like the Uriah and some other pairs, but I'm not sure they're as good as these. So yeah, this is a really, really good IEM. I do recommend it for price. For the price, it's a steal. So yeah, I think I've been rambling a lot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.